Oh, I got the thumbs up. It's 6:59.
I didn't.
Oh, hurry up, hurry up. You got 30 seconds left, 30 seconds left. Quick, sit down in your chair. Yay, you're on time. Okay, welcome everybody to the council meeting for January 16th, 2024. As we have quorum, I'll call the meeting to order. The time is 6:59. The time is 7 o'clock now. Always like to start a meeting off in a good way by acknowledging that the city of Maple Ridge carries out its business on the traditional and unceded territory of the Katzie First Nation and the Kwantlen First Nation. Madam Clerk, over to you. Do you have anything you wish to add?
Yes, thank you, Your Worship. This meeting is being live streamed and recorded and will be available to the public for playback on our website in accordance with Council Policy 3.12. The purpose of a council meeting is to enact powers given to council using bylaws or resolutions and is the venue for debate of issues before voting on a bylaw or resolution. This meeting is being conducted with the city's one meeting platform. For voting purposes, council has been provided with voting cards, green for in favor, red for opposed, yellow for point of order. For members of the public who would like to speak during public question period, if you are participating electronically, please register as a speaker by clicking on the raise hand icon and turn on your mic and camera. When you're called on, please clearly state your name and city of residence. If you are attending the meeting in person, please come forward to the podium when the mayor invites speakers and clearly state your name and city of residence before beginning your comments. Participants are reminded that there should be no discussion of public hearing bylaws which have not yet reached conclusion. Each speaker will have 2 minutes to speak to council. A second opportunity may be provided once all speakers in the queue have had an opportunity to speak. The total time allotted for the public question period is 15 minutes. That concludes our opening statement.
Thank you very much. And we're going to move on to the agenda. We have an amended agenda. Do I need a motion for this? Yes. I'll need a motion for this, that the agenda of the regular council meeting of January 16th, 2024 be approved as amended by removing item 9.2. Can I get a motion for that? Moved by Councillor Doze, seconded by Councillor Carreras. Any comments, questions, or any additions to the agenda or subtractions? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Motion is carried unanimously. Thank you very much. Moving on to the next item. Oh, I have to approve the agenda now.
That was
No, okay, good. That meant, okay, good. Okay, we're gonna move on to adoption of minutes. We have 2 items: special council to close December 12th, 2023, and the regular council meeting of December 12th, 2023. Can I get a motion for these items, please? Moved by Councillor Youssef, seconded by Councillor Doze. Any comments, questions? Seeing none, call the question. All those in favor, motion carried unanimously. Thank you very much. Moving on to the next item, Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Your Worship. The next item on the agenda are items listed on the consent agenda to be considered for approval in one motion unless a member of council wishes to discuss an item and requests that it be excluded. Each item removed from the consent agenda will be debated and voted on separately by council.
Thank you very much. Can I get a motion for these items? Moved by Councillor Youssef, seconded by Councillor Carreras. Any comments or questions? Seeing none, I will call the question. All those in favor, motion is carried unanimously. Excellent. Thank you very much. Moving on to the next item, Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Your Worship. Sorry, the next item is the Maple Ridge Fees and Charges Bylaw, which reflects changes to filming fees, and it's bylaw number 7978-2023 in front of council for consideration of adoption.
Okay, so just no presentation from anyone, right? Correct. Okay, can I get a motion for this item, please? Moved by Councillor Youssef, seconded by Councillor Carreras. Comments, questions? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Motion is carried unanimously. Most awesome. Thank you very much. Moving on to the next item, please.
Thank you. The next item is committee reports and recommendations, in which staff reports presented at an earlier committee of the whole meeting, typically 1 week prior, although today it was this afternoon, to provide council with an opportunity to ask staff detailed questions. This item is now before the regular council meeting for a debate and vote. The item is item 10.1, application 2018-448-RZ01 for property located at 12061 Lady Street, which is to extend the completion date in the Heritage Revitalization Agreement for the conservation of the Gillespie residents on the subject site.
Thank you very much. Can I get a motion? Councillor Youssef, reading my mind there. Very good. Moved by, seconded by Councillor Carreras. Comments, questions? Seeing none, I will call the question. All those in favor? Motion is carried unanimously. Most excellent. Moving on to the next item, Madam Clerk, would be just a public question period.
It is, Your Worship, but we do know that there is nobody in chambers and nobody online, so I will, with your permission, pass over the long introduction of public question, which we just had at the beginning of the meeting.
Are we going for a record here? Okay, next item is Mayor and Councillor verbal reports. Councillor Carreras, followed by Councillor
It's going
Youssef.
to be longer than the entire meeting, I think. A couple of things. It's been a busy start to the year. I just want to highlight for the community and for my colleagues around the table. The first Metro Vancouver Regional District Planning Committee meeting was held last week. There are three sort of items of note I wanted to share with you. One was the Yenadin lands were on there, and it's been recommended to go to the board now for approval, and that's just changing the urban boundary. And there are other two pieces and reports that were on there that were really interesting if you want to delve into some of the data. One was called the Resident and Immigrant Behavior Model, Phase 1 and 2, had a really important information, I think, for how the communities are changing. And the other one was the Metro Vancouver Housing Data Book, which is it's going to take a few hours to delve into that one, but there's a lot of information I think is really important for just the general community, but especially for us around the table. And I did forward it to my colleagues earlier this week. Public Art Steering Committee, we also had that one this week. It was just a short meeting just to approve projects for the 150 coming up this year. We are actually into our 150 year now.
Yes.
And I'm not going to share what they are. You're going to have to wait until they happen. But there's some pretty cool projects happening that will engage the community, and I'm really looking forward to that work. The Resolutions Committee. So there's three of us on the Resolutions Committee, and we had our first meeting today. And this is something we talked about in December, is to sort of streamline our resolutions for LMLGA and UBCM, and also to kind of streamline staff work too, so they're not all over the place. And there's going to be an email coming out tomorrow just requesting ideas from the rest of council. So if you have some suggestions, if you can get that to us so that we can work through those resolutions. And, you know, I know there is a separate process. You can table it at any time, but it is super helpful for all of us. If you go through the committee, then we're not doing the same motion in two different paths, and it will help streamline staff time and to make sure that all the resolutions reflect our strategic plan and the goals that we're trying to do within our community. So look for that email tomorrow, and I look forward to your suggestions so we can work through some of those resolutions. There is a tight timeline that will come out for you tomorrow as well, because LMLGA deadline is February 28th, but we want to be able to get those resolutions on the council table here. So if we have to tweak anything before the deadline, we still have that time. And the only last thing I want to report is I attended a provincial government webinar on their new housing bills, 44, 46, and 47. And actually, it was really cool. There were 600 people registered and on the call, staff and electeds around the province. So lots of really great questions. And they have two more webinars coming up this week that I'm looking forward to. We can delve into them and learn a little bit more about the bills and how they're going to impact us here in our community of Maple Ridge. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We're going to move to Councillor Youssef, followed by Councillor Schiller.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'll start out with more of a sad bit. On January 6th, Saturday, it was the funeral service for Holly Merton, a great contributor to our community and a great loss. And it was very well attended. She was a magnificent lady that we're so sad to see go, and I was able to attend, and really the love around the community was truly heartfelt. This Thursday, on a lighter note, January 18th will be the Operation Red Nose wrap-up party. So thanks to all the volunteers and all people who took rides. We appreciate your contributions and we appreciate getting you home safely. It was our first year back after a 2-year hiatus, so we did expect the numbers to be rather moderate, and they are. Next year, of course, we'll have a much better campaign to tell the story and to get people to know that we are going to be providing the service. And I hope to see many more of my colleagues around, both as volunteers or taking a ride home. We enjoy doing that thoroughly as well. Tomorrow will be the Metro Vancouver Liquid Waste Committee. And if I may, there is a presentation that will be done on hydrothermal processing. And this is the, if you recall, the hashtag hot poop bit that I threw out earlier, where there is generation of heat from the sewer. So it is of great interest and it's a great resource that we didn't even know existed, and now we do. So it's starting to really come to the fore. Lastly, I'd like to recognize and tip my hat to our road crews. They did an awesome job during the last snow event, if we want to call it that. It wasn't even felt by our residents. I was in Surrey that day and there was snow that was sticking there, drove across the Maple Ridge, and it was clear as can be. And I don't doubt that they will rise to the occasion again over the next 48 hours and do a magnificent job as they usually do. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much. Councillor Schiller.
Thank you, Mayor Remy. Happy 2024, everyone. Starting the year off with a classic post-holiday cold. But in any case, looking forward to lots of good work this year. And I'm just very excited to speak to some of the work that's going on in regards to climate action. We have a lot going on. The Mayor's Task Force on Climate Action has just gained a great amount of momentum. And we have looked at potential work to be done on the zero carbon step code. So that would be for new buildings that are not yet constructed. And we've also had a great discussion about retrofits, so ways that we can support buildings that are already constructed in being more resilient to the future. And as well, Climate Hub is hosting a series of sessions for the public. So if you're looking to start the new year off by getting a little bit more involved with the local work on climate, please come out and join us at the library. The first session is next Monday at 6 p.m. at the Maple Ridge Library. We have an organization called Regenerate BC who will be leading the sessions, and it's just all about what's going on locally and practical solutions that we can all take part in. And that's all for me. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Anybody else who wishes to share some good news or bad news or any kind of news? Seeing none, I will throw in mine. So it's going to be a busy year for sure. A couple of highlights for me is I was named the chair for Metro Housing Committee. Which is going to be interesting to see because there's a lot of stuff on the docket there for Metro Van Housing Corporation. TransLink as well has started a campaign to, put a little bit of pressure on our senior levels of government to find ways to fund our transit system as well as the new improvements such as the BRT. So that's going to be an exciting piece. We're looking forward to that. I wanted to just give a quick update on our emergency weather shelter. As you know, our provider this year is the Salvation Army, and so they're running the two. They have their main shelter, and then they have the emergency weather shelter. We've been keeping a close eye on that, and while the main shelter is almost at capacity, the emergency weather shelter still has plenty of room and has had plenty of room since the cold weather. Really proud and excited to know that the city had opened up the Greg Moore Youth Center for a daytime warming shelter. And that is, depending on the weather, that was from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. At night because it was really cold in the daytime. So that's something that I think is commendable for the city to have taken those steps. Obviously, we have some we've been saying we've had some weather related storms coming our way, and thankfully nothing yet has come other than really cold weather. But it's good to know that the city has been out over the last 2 weeks, salting and brining the roads to make sure that when and if this storm comes, the weather does turn, for instance, perhaps tonight, that the city will be ready with their with the snowplows. As well as I'm looking forward to testing out the snow tracking app. That's going to be fun to see. Aside from that, that's like I said, just a lot of stuff that's going to happen in the first quarter of this year. Really excited. It'll be a lot of work, but we're, as we said before, we're a city on the move, and that's exactly what we're doing. So welcome back, everybody. Happy, I hope you all had a great Christmas and looking forward to a great 2024. And that's all that I have for that. Thank you very much. Seeing as how there's no other comments or questions and we have no other business, I will adjourn for the evening.